we talk about education. We're here at Utah State. Education is critical, but there's also the practical part of education that means so much. You can read about it, you can talk about it, and then you can live it, and that's where you really get the education. There's so many opportunities for internships here in the state, locally, statewide, nationally, back in DC. I absolutely recommend an internship. There is a value there and an experience there that you really can't get anywhere else. But being able to serve in an internship and dialogue with people that are making those decisions that will impact the future of our 20-somethings. When you look at unemployment and what's happened, we're now calling it a lost generation. The age group in the 20s are making 20% less now than they were 10 years ago. They're the only group age-wise that has not recovered in any way from the recession. In fact, they're worse off. And that's not going to change unless and until we get those voices heard. So I absolutely encourage people to get involved as much as possible. Statutorily, the most important part of my job is overseeing elections in the state. I'm the chief elections officer, and I used to think that elections just happen, but after 10 months on the job, I can tell you that that's not the case. But really, the most important part of my job is traveling the state and talking to real people and finding out the real issues on the ground. It's easy to get kind of insulated in these positions where people tell you what you want to hear, especially for the governor and others. As a lieutenant governor, that doesn't happen because I'm out. I traveled over 1,000 miles last week alone, and again, meeting with real people and getting unfiltered advice and concerns and finding out what's happening here in the state of Utah, and then being able to deliver that to the governor in a way that helps inform policies and decisions that impact everyday Utahns. That's what we're trying to do, and it's a lot of work, but it's absolutely worth it. So my advice to current students would be to really have fun. I know that may sound a little cliche, but it's easy to get wrapped up in classes and finals, and those are very important. But to get involved in programs and extracurricular activities, this is a really cool place. And if you're not attending a few basketball games and having fun on the quad, then you're doing it wrong. We had some wonderful speakers when I was here. George Stephanopoulos, who was working for President Clinton at the time, came out and spoke to us, and we got a chance to meet him and spend some time with him, something that really stands out in my mind. Every day's an adventure, and so it's hard to pick one thing that's the favorite part of my job. I get to meet some incredible people. They all have a story to tell. And so being out with the people is the part I love the most. One day last week, I was in Vernal speaking to energy executives and workers in the oil fields. A couple hours later, I was in Park City talking to doctors and hospital administrators about Medicaid expansion and healthcare. And from there, I found myself in North Ogden speaking with 200 scout leaders, Boy Scout leaders, about the importance of helping the young men in our state get an education and some of those things. So really, I just look around and blink and think, you know, what am I doing here? This is really cool stuff. But anytime you get a chance to drive a demolition derby car and end up upside down with another car on top of you, it's really hard to top something like that.